Chapter 3. The Hidden Laws of Spirit Worlds. The night I first stepped into the forest-guided shrine of an Akan priest, nothing moved except the flame of the oil lamp. It burned too steadily, too confidently, as if protected by a force beyond the wind. The priest, wrapped in white cloth, stood barefoot on soil that felt unnaturally warm. He touched the ground, the air, then his chest. 3 gestures, 3 realms, and whispered, "We are not alone." It was not a warning. It was a statement of physics. In that moment, the space around us shifted. The shadows lengthened. The air thickened, as though invisible threads were tightening. To the untrained eye, this would look like superstition, a theatrical performance meant to coax belief out of the watcher. But my mind, trained in the split languages of science and story, sensed something else. An environmental change so slight, it felt like the world holding its breath. This chapter asks a question many fear to speak aloud. What if the spirit realm is not symbolic, but structural? Not metaphor, but dimension. Across Africa, the concept of the spirit world is ancient, consistent, and remarkably scientific in its architecture. The Igbo call it Ala Muo, the land of spirits. The Yoruba call it Run, a world interwoven with Aye, the material plane. The Zulu speak of the Unkulunkulu realm. The Dagara speak of the third space. Different names, different languages, yet all describe the same phenomenon, a layered universe. Not heaven, not afterlife. A parallel, adjacent, interpenetrating dimension. The earliest African cosmologies imagine existence as a series of overlapping fields of reality, separated not by distance but by frequency. Like radio stations broadcasting from the same point in space, but on different wavelengths. You cannot hear the other station until you tune into its frequency. Modern physics says the same. Quantum theory suggests multiple layers of existence. String theory proposes vibrating dimensions. Neuroscience acknowledges altered states where perception moves beyond ordinary boundaries. Even the study of dark matter, silent, invisible, powerful, suggests that most of the universe is unseen. So when African elders say, "The spirits are here, but not here," they are not speaking nonsense. They are describing, through inherited metaphor, the same concepts scientists describe through equations. To understand this deeper, we must examine an overlooked truth. African rituals are practical experiments in altering consciousness and shifting perception between dimensions. Take a possession ritual among the Zar communities of Sudan. Before the spirit arrives, the drumming intensifies. Patterns accelerate. The rhythm synchronizes with the participant's heartbeat. The dancer enters trance. Her sense of time dissolves. Her perception sharpens in ways that defy everyday logic. Neurologists who study the phenomenon report something remarkable. Certain rhythms induce measurable shifts in brainwave states, transitioning from beta to alpha, then to theta, the realm associated with dreams, intuition, and hypnagogic vision. In theta states, the brain becomes porous, able to access forms of data normally filtered out by waking consciousness. In this altered state, the dancer perceives presences, symbols, emotions, and visions that feel entirely external. Whether or not an entity literally enters her body is not the most important question. The real scientific question is this: does trance allow the mind to access data streams from a parallel dimension? If consciousness is not fixed to a single plane of existence, then possession is not an invasion. It is a tuning. One of the most intriguing scientific parallels comes from the world of quantum biology. Birds navigating migration routes use magnetic fields to orient themselves. Plants communicate using chemical signals that travel invisibly through the air. Bees read ultraviolet markings invisible to the human eye. All these creatures operate in layers of reality humans cannot naturally perceive. What we call the spirit realm may simply be another layer, one our senses are not equipped to detect without ritual assistance. And this brings us to a critical observation. African shrines are not random. They are built on geomagnetic hotspots, near rivers or earth fractures where electromagnetic activity is naturally higher. Some priests choose locations where the Schumann resonance, Earth's natural frequency pulse, is amplified. In these places, rituals feel stronger because the environment itself supports altered perception. In scientific terms, the shrine is a field amplifier. In spiritual terms, it is a doorway. But the strongest evidence for the spirit realm as a dimension, not a metaphor, comes from the uniformity of the experiences reported across cultures. Yoruba priests entering Run describe luminous beings, faces made of shadow, ancestors that communicate through impression, not speech. Zulu Sangomas entering trance describe moving through a tunnel of mist into a space where everything vibrates with a faint hum. Beninese Vodun practitioners speak of entering a world made of soundlight, where spirits are not bodies but patterns. The San of southern Africa, during their trance dance, describe leaving their bodies and flying to a parallel plane pulsing with energy currents. These cultures did not meet. They did not exchange theology. Yet their descriptions align with uncanny precision. What are the odds that unrelated civilizations, separated by geography and language, invented the same imaginary realm? Or is it more likely that they accessed a shared dimension layered beside our own? Still, we must ask the counter question. Is the spirit world simply a metaphor for human consciousness? A projection of psychology? A symbolic language for inner transformation? There is truth in that interpretation. Rituals offer therapeutic structure. Possession allows emotional release. Divination organizes thought. Ancestral reverence maintains moral order. But reducing the spirit realm to mere symbolism ignores the weight of experience, the consistency of observation, and the scientific patterns embedded in ritual practice. There is a principle in science. If multiple witnesses describe the same invisible force in the same way, you study it. You do not dismiss it. African spirit cosmology is not the fantasy of one tribe. It is the shared memory of a continent. So where does this leave us? If the spirit realm is metaphor, it is the most persistent and coherent metaphor ever created. If it is psychology with laws, architecture, geography, and recognizable inhabitants. If it is energy, it behaves like a field with boundaries and rules. If it is a dimension, then African priests were early explorers of multiverse theory, long before physics caught up. Perhaps the spirit realm is all of these at once: symbolic, psychological, energetic, dimensional. Perhaps reality itself is layered in ways we do not yet have the language to articulate. But the deeper question is this: if the spirit world is a parallel dimension, what happens when a priest, or a scientist, finds a door that opens both ways? And who or what steps through?